I am currently standing on one of the most beautiful beaches in all of Croatia. I mean, look at this. Look at the color of that water. When the sun comes out, it completely turns to a new shade of blue. I don't think you're gonna find places like these anywhere else in the world. These are the types of places you can find here in the beautiful island of VIS, Croatia. And today, I'm gonna be taking you on a journey to this incredible island of VIS. Good morning and welcome back to the picturesque island of VIS, Croatia, here located in the Dalmatian coast in the middle of the beautiful, incredible Adriatic Sea. Now in the previous video we went around a little small part of VIS just to see a few bunkers, a few Yugoslav National Army sites, and it was a really fun experience. We saw quite a bit, but today we're going deeper into the island. We're going to see some beaches. Unfortunately, if you look at the weather right there, it's not looking great. Our chances of swimming seem very, very slim, so it doesn't seem like we're going to be doing much swimming today. You can probably see right over there those gray clouds. They don't necessarily spell good weather for swimming. However, there are some incredibly nice scenes around here, and this is the island that Mamma Mia was shot, so there are some incredible places to see here. There's also a lot more history we're going to try and explore today. So with that, let's go ahead, let's start exploring this incredible little island of VIS, and I can't wait to see what more this island has to offer. Those dark clouds and this wind does not spell a good sign for the weather today on VIS. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, have fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Enjoy our day.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you. Literally, one thing I love about Croatia, the people here are so incredibly friendly. What incredible people they have here. Now, I've talked a lot about how VIS has always been a very important place because of the history of VIS in the Yugoslav National Army times, but in particular, it's also very important during World War II. And we're currently standing at the Royal Air Force VIS Base Memorial for those soldiers who died during combat. VIS is actually home to a Royal Air Force base here on the island that served to bomb a lot of the sites in Italy during World War II. And they had to level the ground in order to make it work. And actually, if you look right behind me, all the way over there, you'll see there's that strip of land that's basically an airfield. That's literally what they turned it into. They built up this airfield. They had bombers go on operations throughout the Adriatic Sea and all the way through Italy and occupied Europe throughout World War II. Now obviously after World War II, the farmers sort of reclaimed the land and they turned it back into agriculture as it was originally intended. But this memorial is a memorial for all those who lost their lives, and it is an incredible place. I mean, look at this island from here. It is so beautiful. I mean, the airstrip, you can still see it there, but of course nowadays it's just, you can literally see there's like hay bundles over there because nobody uses it anymore for an airbase. But wow, the history on this island is truly incredible, and as I explore more of this island, I'm just finding more and more things that make this such an incredible place. It may be little things just like an Air Force base, but it provided so much support to the Allied powers in World War II. Well, back on the motorcycle we go. Now, when I was deciding on an island to come and visit here in Croatia, there was one thing about VIS that sort of just secured that spot for me, and it's this beach that's pretty incredible. Now, from the photos I saw, it is a beautiful place, but of course, with the weather today, I don't even know if the water is going to be blue. However, to get there is not the easiest, because the easiest way is obviously to get there by boat. But if you're going by land like I am, you have to take a motorcycle, drive it here, and then hike down this sort of path right here, which you can see is not the easiest. It'll take you all the way down to the seashore itself, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to take that walk, and it's not gonna be an easy one. Wow, you're already getting an incredible glimpse of the beach that we're gonna see at the bottom. I think we have literally just made it. Wow, this is incredible. Now you might be wondering, was all that hiking, and actually I bled a little bit, was it all worth it? Well, I think you can see for yourself. That is Stiniva Beach, located on the southern shores of VIS. It is incredibly beautiful. I mean, look at the turquoise color, look at those cliffs that just come down and converge right here with a little gap just right in the middle. This is probably one of the most beautiful places I've also been to, also one of the windiest I've ever been to. Now what's really interesting about this place is that the reason it exists is because the whole southern coast of VIS was basically a huge like limestone deposit. There were a lot of limestone, and as a result, over time with erosion, this limestone slowly turned into a series of ocean caves on the southern shores of VIS. Now, some of these ocean caves still exist, but this one, Stiniva specifically, actually collapsed. So you can imagine a long time ago, this would have been a massive cave, but after it collapsed and fell, then it had some sort of tiny little entrance left over, which was used to be the entrance into the cave, but now served to create this incredibly beautiful beach. When the sun comes out and shines on the water, it turns a pristine blue color, but on a day like today, it still looks absolutely beautiful. Well, unfortunately, the wind is way too strong for us to go in for a swim, and it is way too cold for me to enjoy a swim anyway. So with that, it's time for us to get back on the road. I love driving through this island. There are so many olive groves and fruit trees and so much agriculture going on here. It's probably one of the most fertile islands you're gonna find here in Croatia. But it's just incredibly beautiful all the time wherever I'm driving. I mean, look at this scenery. I just don't think it gets better than that. Now, as you can probably tell, I put on a hoodie, and that's because we have literally taken the motorcycle, that very, very good motorcycle, to its limit, climbing up to the topmost point of this island, a series of mountains that are so tall, you can't even see the top of it. The clouds have completely covered it up. And apparently, these staircases lead to the cave of Tito. I'll talk more about it once we get to the cave, but this is a pretty ominous entrance to a military cave, so let's go ahead and check that out. Look at how fast those clouds are moving. You can tell how windy it is up here in VIS. Well, high up here in the mountains, we finally made it to why we came all the way up here for, why we made it all the way up to these mountains where you can barely see the top of it. We've come to the level of the clouds here in VIS in order to see the cave of Tito. Now, Tito, remember, was the Yugoslav leader, and during World War II in 1944, this cave right here is actually where he stayed and where the strategic high command of the Yugoslav army was located. You can see, it's nothing special. It's literally just a cave in the middle of this rock face. But when it comes to the scenery, when the clouds are gone at least, it's a pretty cool spot to plan your high command of your entire army. Now, Tito only lived here for a while. He didn't live here for the entirety of the war. He only lived here for about a year or two, so it wasn't a very long time that he was spending here. But he did move a lot of the main sort of command operations to the island of VIS because it would get him closer to Italy. It would also get him closer to a lot of the allies, and they would be able to communicate better from this island. It's also why there's so many Yugoslav relics here and locations on the island, like the submarine base that we saw yesterday and the cannon bunker. Those exist because they were designed to protect the island of Viz because Tito was here and he was planning the rest of the war out from this cave right here. It is chilling to imagine that this is the place where a whole war from the Yugoslav side was drawn out, but at the same time, today it's nothing. It's so simple. You get a sign that talks about Tito, and that's about it. It's really, really interesting, and it's so silent up here. The only thing you hear is the rustling of the trees. Well, that is Tito's cave, and to be honest, if you don't really know who Tito is or anything about history, it's probably just a boring old cave, but if you know what happened here, you know how impressive this place is. Now this whole time we've been staying in the town of Viz, which is on the eastern side of the island. This is also where all the ferries and ships come to. However, on the western side of the island, there is a little town called Komiža, and that is exactly where we are right now. We're gonna explore it in a little bit, but first, it's time to get some lunch. Now just right here in the main town area, I've come to a little place. It's called Zadruga, Pizzeria Zadruga. And of course they serve pizza, but we're not here for the pizza. I'm here for some risotto, some seafood risotto, and trust me, it looks amazing. Let's go ahead, try it out. That tomato flavor, that is incredible. You got that seafoody flavor, the mussels, scallops, a lot of different things going on here. Now the truth is, I didn't actually plan on coming to this town and having lunch. But the thing is, the road over from Viz to Komiža is so cold because you rise so much. Like you can see the cliffs over there. That is the road that you go through, and I was so cold. I was like, you know what, once I get to Komiža, I'm gonna have some food. I'm gonna have some warm food because it's so cold. Like you can see I'm still putting on a sweater, and it's shining now, the sun. And once you get to the water level, it's really, really warm. Once you get up into those mountains where it's really, really misty and cloudy, it gets really, really cold. So as much as we can, we're gonna try and stay here a little longer to warm up before we head back to Viz. But let's just finish this up, and let me show you the actual town of Komiža. Now Komiža was a thriving city many hundreds of years ago with a very important fishing industry. And because it was such an important city, it was a very frequent victim of pirate attacks. Here in the Adriatic Sea, lots of pirates came and they would raid the town of Komiža. That's why they had to build this incredible structure right behind me. This is the fortress of the fishermen. The fishermen basically banded together and said, we need to protect our town. And this happened under the Venetian government when they ran Viz Island. And the thing is, if you look at Viz geographically, you'll notice that Viz is like the farthest away from Croatia. So if you're entering the Adriatic from the north, it's like the first island you're going to see. It's the first island you're going to attack. More importantly, Komiža is facing west, which means that it's like the first town you would want to attack if you're going down and attacking all the towns throughout Croatia and Dalmatia at the time. So because of that, they had to suffer all these attacks, and that's why they had to build this incredible fortress here in Komiža. Now, of course, it's a very different age, different day. The town here is very, very different from when it was hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But the fort still remains, and it is a very, very impressive fort. I think it's time for us to get back right on the road. That you would be able to find an abandoned tank like this. I don't know from which war. Oh, it says USA. It's an American tank. Just right here in Viz. That is crazy. Well, fortunately, we've made it back to the eastern side of Viz Island, back to the town of Viz, but we're not exactly in the town of Viz itself. We've come to this absolutely incredible beach called Plaža Grandovac, I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's this crystal clear blue beach, and of course, once the sun is shining, it is incredible. But this is gonna be our last stop of the day because I have to return the motorcycle soon back to Viz. But this beach, I mean, it was just a little bit warmer. I'd be happy to dive into this water. Look at the color of that water. but this has got to be one of the best beaches I've seen all day. I know Stiniva had the cliffs and everything, but this, the color of this water, this is incredible. It's crazy to me how beaches like these can completely exist here in Croatia, and there's not a single person here. Like, it's like an abandoned beach, and the water, I mean, look at the color of that water. I think you can probably see from the drone shots how crystal clear blue that water is. It is delicious. I mean, like, it looks amazing. Look at that color. I just can't stress enough how amazing this island is, and this is just any ordinary beach. Like, this is just an average beach here in VIS. Now, what's interesting is also this beach is located on a peninsula. So again, like yesterday, we also had a peninsula. This is also a little peninsula here, but there's no structures on it. It's just a bunch of trees, and it's a really nice place to actually walk around. But the beach, I mean, if this is what you're looking for, VIS Croatia has everything that you could ask for. Great food, great people, great scenery, and some of the best water you're gonna find on the planet. And just like that, we are back in the town of VIS, and we've returned the motorcycle. I think from today, I think what you can probably see is that VIS is one of the most diverse islands in Croatia. You rise a few meters, not a few, but a few hundred meters up to the mountain area like Tito's cave, and it gets really, really cold. Then you come back down to the coast like here in VIS or Komica, and then it's really, really warm again. You've got incredibly nice beaches with limestone caves, and then you've got caves all the way up in the mountains where military leaders used to live. And then you've got Royal Air Force bases that used to be here. It's such a diverse island with such a rich history and a rich culture and a rich people that it really makes for one of the best places to visit here in VIS. I've loved my adventures through this island. It's truly one of those places that it's really hard to forget because of how beautiful it is. I mean, you've seen those beaches today. Those are some really, really incredible beaches that we visited. And the people here have been incredibly friendly. The food has been amazing. And the scenery has just been out of this world. I know Croatia has a lot of islands, and these islands are super famous, but VIS is one that I would definitely highly recommend. I mean, there's a reason why the sequel to Mamma Mia was filmed here. It's an incredible island to visit. The weather hasn't been the most cooperative today and yesterday, but despite that, we've still had an incredible time here in VIS. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. If you enjoyed this video, please definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos. We've got more videos coming from here in Croatia, so make sure to stay tuned, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.